This is what happens. Okay. So the thing is, how do I convey that you are dreaming? Because you don't necessarily sleep.
No. Uh,
Do you remember when we ended off if you yeah, you're sharing a room with other people, aren't you?
yeah.
Do you want to just be like vaguely lucid?
I mean, I
Like those dreams where you're like half awake and you can see things, but you're still dreaming?
sure. I mean, yeah. Like I'm just also hallucinating this shit.
Yeah, or with someone. We're gonna have to like pick somebody or everybody and be like, yeah, Kyrium's like talking while she's in a trance and it's weird, but like you think it's fine. Okay. So as you are like trancing, modifying your little clay brain cube. I don't know why I assumed it's a cube. I just assume it's a cube the whole time.
No, I think it's like kind of a because the thing is that the surface area that's exposed is the usable space. So it's like kind of a
Hmm.
imagine it kind of like a bowl with like a thing in the middle, almost.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's actually quite
Yeah.
neat.
So as you are transcend modifying your memories into this backup brain that you have, um, you begin to almost see in front of you the room around you slowly start to shift a little bit and start to move in patterns and ways that is definitely not normal and definitely not like in uh, the effects of a spell. I didn't want to say inherently magical, but this is a god, so
Yeah.
so as you were like sitting and modifying, a field of clovers kind of like sprouts up underneath you. It's just like a small patch. It's a small patch of clovers.
Yeah.
Um, and you feel a presence at your back. It is not malicious. They're not actively touching you, but you feel as if you are back to back with somebody.
I mean, I guess I would, reconnect my brain to my body and turn my head around.
Yeah. As you turn your head around, you like, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. You don't see anybody, but the presence is still there. They're not necessarily invisible. They're just like not tangible, if that makes sense. They're not invisible, but they're not like physically actually there. It's a spiritual thing.
Okay. Want to reach out and see if there's anything I can touch.
Yeah. As you like reach out, you can feel both the hard floor, but also the clover patch at the same time underneath you. So as you reach out, you touch both nothing and someone's shoulder at the same time. Let me pull up, hold on a quick sec on my phone. So it's like a cloak of some kind that you put your hand on, and it is. a sort of like rough texture, almost like it has been hand sewn.
Okay. It's the person's shoulder is like hand sewn like.
Um, the what you touch, like you're putting your hand on their shoulder, they are wearing a
Ah. Identify. I'm
okay.
not sure if that'll do anything, but I'm casting Identify.
I mean, sure.
Which I think just tells me if they'll under. Uh, actually, I don't think I can. But yeah, that's a. I can. Yeah, magic items and creatures. Choose one on.
If you instead touch a creature throughout casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily a spell that you know of. It's very an older magic, older than like even you. But there is a spell on this person. You can kind of glean the nature of the spell. It is a spell that allows someone to speak within the land of dreams, but as you do not enter into the land of dreams, like at all, it's a little bit modified and a little bit awkward. Kind of like someone threw something together on the fly in order to talk to you.
Why are you heal?
I've heard you.
What?
I wanted his. Hmm?
You cut out a little.
Ugh, I about you.
What?
Did I cut out again?
Yes.
Okay. Um,
It's only when you say that
I guess that.
sentence, but
Yeah, it's only when I do the voice. I don't think I'm allowed to do the voice. Um, says I've heard about you. I wanted to see you, but then also I don't think that you would for a face-to-face conversation that seems a bit more like a confrontation, so I thought that this would be better.
understood.
You are phenomenal.
You seem to have me at something of a disadvantage. Though. You know.
That tends to happen. Unfortunately, when we try to converse with people, it gets a little bit weird, and since you don't dream, it's a bit weirder.
We. Who is we? Who do you like
What
me
would
to
you
call?
like me to call you? I would call you Kyrium, but that seems like I'm stroking my own ego a little bit.
that silence is in Kyrium's like.
Holy shit, there's a god sitting behind me.
I like to think that Kyrium is like. I guess no, she'd have to be like turned around, but at least it
Ryan,
shows that
we
like.
are so fucked.
No, well, ultimately, how you refer to me is uh, your. Let me, I once again have to pull up a killer doc because I do not have a serial number memorized. Um,
I honestly would not expect you to have that serial number memorized.
I have been known by many things. My official designation is 94KC3LAV. I have been called Casey, Lucky, Heavy. Ultimately, whatever anyone chooses to refer to me as long as it functions, is functional.
Then may I call you Lucky?
You may. Uh,
You are rare. I've not seen one like you, I think, ever. I think Lucky fits. Rarity means, well, rarity breeds meaning, and when it comes to clovers, the rare ones are thought to be lucky.
that seems correct. Is there something you wish to know? Some way that I may be of service to you?
All I desire from you at this moment is a conversation.
Understood.
I tend to watch over those like you who were both born here, if born is the term you would like to use, or born abroad. And perhaps I should not pay close attention to those who were born abroad, but you were here. So I think that was a good choice.
There is, if you will, not that I am qualified to make uh, judgments on the nature of your decisions, but there is no reason to limit the scope of your observations. It's prudent of you, I think, to cast a wide net. She's so scared right now.
Literally, this guy is just sitting here. You are fascinating. Just the fact that you are here and alive and functioning is impressive. I I don't know how to quite describe what I am thinking when it comes to you. I do not have the words. Aespear is much better at words, but I do like watching you grow. Learning is the forefront of adaptation and advancing in technology. I think that the more that you learn, the better outcomes may be for you and the others.
That seems correct. God, I'm doing nothing in this conversation.
May I ask you a question that may possibly make you uncomfortable?
You may do as you please.
Why why do you not accept the idea of being an individual rather than an object?
Well, I consider myself an individual object, separate from other things of my kind. But
But an object nonetheless.
yes, and
I seek to understand, is there a benefit in being an object? I would assume the opposite.
so ultimately, there is no logical reason for me to insist this. As far as I understand it, the process by which living things procreate is no less a process of manufacturing than what created me, and no less connected with sources of life, divine magic and such. These were clinics. But when you will something beneath a god, a spirit, a humanoid, something mortal and judgeable, subject to the laws of morality, your actions, they mean things. They mean things about who you are. A person who had done the things I had done would be a bad person. But a weapon that had been used to do the things I have done would be a very effective weapon. I wish to think of myself as something that is good and not something that is bad.
I understand. May I posit to you that now it has been quite some time since a majority, let's be honest, a majority of your bad acts were acted. Would you not consider your present self better?
My it is in many ways I feel I am wiser than I was, but knowledge has been lost to damage. Pelts have lost some degree of functioning. My cooling system is inconsistent. I cannot exert as much force or take the same amount of damage that I once could. In many ways, I consider myself worse than what I was.
Physically, maybe so, but what about morally or spiritually?
I think I think I am not in the same position, not incentivized to do the same things. Uh,
Perhaps in the exact same way, but with the threats looming overhead, you have not quite fallen back into those habits. I would at least describe that as progress. Wouldn't
if that is how you see it, then it is likely correct. As I see it, I serve primarily as an advisor. And the people I am advising are less willing to take certain actions. And that changes which of my advice is listened to. But it is not.
that has changed the advice that you give? My point of asking you this, Lucky, is I'm meaning to convey that if you spend the rest of your existence weighed down by the sins of your past, you're never going to find a future. I think the centuries of penance that you have served should absolve you at least somewhat.
Well, great Lord, who fords the light of the sun within the earth that we may learn to dig. If it is your place to grant absolution, so to the extent that you call me absolved, I will consider myself absolved.
I think you need to decide to absolve yourself. I will give you that. Not necessarily power, but choice. When you feel like you have earned absolution, you will have it. When you feel like you are a good person, you one. But I feel like we need to focus on the person part because there is no such thing as a good object.
That is an interesting perspective. I have always considered that a good object is one that has a function and fulfills it well. We, Surely a well-weighted shovel is better than a poorly weighted one. Is a better shovel.
True, but they both could be used by a skilled hand and could be used this as to the same effectiveness. Would you rather be the shovel or the hand?
I would rather be the shovel.
And I think that's what we need to work on.
If you wish for me to make myself a hand, I can. Well, in a sense, I already began that process, but I can make alterations.
Give me a second, I'm trying to think of what to say.
I love being like, well, you're a god, so if you say I have to make my own choices, I'll do whatever you say.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to think of a response.
This conversation is really fun because, like, from Kyrium's perspective, like, I can't lie to Kyrium, right? Like, he's gonna know when that's going to be a problem, so I just have to, like...
I will keep watching a story as it unfolds. But I do think that when next we speak, hopefully you'll have made a little bit of progress, at least towards the idea that you were created with more than just a single purpose in mind. You were perhaps made to be a tool by the ones who created you in their factories, but I see something far more than that. And the presence slowly fades from behind you as the clover field that you are sitting in slowly also fades, but you do see laying in front of you a single four-leaf clover.
Okay.
I will tell you straight up that it is magical in nature. It will never wither or crush, and if you lose it, it will always show up in your pocket.
Okay. I'm taking that. Okay, lesson. If I think I'm a good person, I become a good person. So no matter what I do, if I think it's good, I'm good. God said so.
God said so.
So yeah, I guess we're done.